In scene 1, there was a 15 years old boy named Gaurav. He was very naive and intelligent. He had big dreams, but it could not be fulfilled due to his certain economic condition. He lived with his loving mother and his maternal uncle. They were totally dependent on his uncle as Gaurav's father died when he was 5 years old due to severe illness. As Gaurav's uncle was the only earning member in their family, he treated them very poorly. In the next scene, we see Gaurav feeling very low and roaming around the neighborhood because of what happened in the previous scene, because of how he was mistreated due to their poor financial status. Just then, his friend, a 22 years old guy named Nikhil, approaches him and tries to console him. Nikhil comes with an idea, offers him a job, understanding his situation. For a moment, he was reluctant, but he finally agrees with his offer. Gaurav spoke with his mother and they both agree with his decision. In the next scene, finally the day has arrived, where we see his mother bidding him goodbye with blessing and love. Then he leaves with Nikhil. In this scene, Gaurav and Nikhil arrives at Mumbai. Gaurav was very fascinated and excited for his new life. Now we see them entering a restaurant where they sat for a conversation. Nikhil gave him a bottle of water and Gaurav drank it. After drinking the water, he felt dizzy and he went unconscious. At this moment, we came to know about Nikhil's real motive. In this scene, we take you to the place where we see many victims like Gaurav tied and unconscious. Nikhil has now sold the victims to the traffickers. After few hours, Gaurav gained consciousness and sees his trustworthy friend betraying him and selling him to the traffickers. He tries to wake others and runs away. The trafficker sees them and runs after them. In this scene, after running out, they met the police on their way and asked for help, but unfortunately, they were involved with the traffickers. So they handed them back to the traffickers. In this scene, 3 years later, we see Gaurav in a hotel room, tired and frustrated with his life, started to accept his life, but still deep down he knew it was very wrong. Now the client and the dealers arrives at the spot. As they were having a deal, fortunately, police arrives and raids the hotel. Finally, Gaurav has been rescued. In the last scene, when Gaurav was brought back home, we see his mother very emotional about what he went through, but was very delightful to see his son who came back home safely. Even though everyone was happy to see him back, but uncle was very disgusted and thought he was reason behind all of the troubles and talks of the society. Some of the neighbors were little skeptical about Gaurav's return and was blamed for everything, but Gaurav didn't give up. He was willing to accept his past and move on.